Welcome back. All right, so it's another Saturday in the NHL, which means 14 games. And 4 weeks from now, a lot of these teams will be done for the year. All right, so two games starting at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. We have overlap. There's not going to be a time where there's not hockey being played between that time in the morning and about 9:30 at night. So about 12 hours of watching hockey yet again. Then I do a power rankings, and everybody tells me I suck. So Buffalo and Detroit start things off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. These teams have already met twice. They've split the first two meetings. On December 5th, it was a 5-3 win for Detroit. March 12th, a 7-3 win for Buffalo. We'll see what they do in this one. April 7th is the fourth and final meeting. So for Buffalo, they're 32-30-5 overall. They're 3 points out of the playoffs. Detroit, one of those teams they're chasing. They're 6-3-1 over their last 10. Dylan Cousins, their leading scorer over the last month, with 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in 14 games. Bowen Byram, really enjoying it in Buffalo. 4 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Apparently all he needed was a trade out of Colorado. Detroit, 33-27-6 overall. They're 3-7 over their last 10. Detroit fans just looked and went, yep, we know. Kane over the last month, 13 games, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. For Berggren, in the 3 games he's played since being called up, he has an assist. 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific start between Ottawa and the Islanders. So I will look for time to review these 2 games on their own. Then I'll find time to review this one, and then the other 11 are going to have to be a video at the end of the night. So the Islanders have won the first 2 meetings with Ottawa, October 26th by a score of 3-2, November 24th by a score of 5-3. Ottawa's 27-33-4 overall. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. Stützle over the last month, 14 games, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. He is their leading scorer. Kubalik, not so much. 14 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. I don't know that Kubalik's still going to be a send next year. I'm thinking probably not. On the Islanders side, they're 29-22-14. They're 6-4 over their last 10, but they're coming off of a rough loss against Buffalo. They may take it out on Ottawa. Nelson, their leading scorer over the last month, 12 games, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Noah Dobson, 12 games, 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points. Dobson's been excellent. And then at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, we've got the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh sitting 5 points out of the playoffs. The Rangers won the first matchup November 22nd by a score of 1-0, and the third and final meeting will be on April the 1st. The Rangers are 43-19-4 overall. They're 6-3-1 over their last 10. Panarin, their leading scorer over the last month. 12 games, 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points. Wenberg, yet to get on the goal sheet, but he does have an assist in the 4 games he's played with the New York Rangers. Pittsburgh's 29-27-9. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10. They're coming off a 6-3 win over San Jose. Rangers are going to be a little more difficult than that. Crosby, 12 games over the last month, 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points. He is their leading scorer over the last calendar month. Bunting, 4 games played with Pittsburgh. He's had a bit of a tough time adjusting. Just the 1 goal, and he's a -5 in those 4 games. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific start between the New Jersey Devils and the Arizona Coyotes on October 13th. It was a 4-3 shootout win for Arizona, so that was a while ago. For New Jersey, they're 4 points out of the playoffs. They're 32-30-4 overall. They're 4-6 over their last 10. But they got a big win in the last game. We'll see how this one works. Hischier, 13 games. Their leading scorer over the last month. 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points. Jesper Bratt, scoring calmed down a little bit. 13 games, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points over that same time period. For Arizona, they're 27-35-5 overall. They're 4-6 in their last 10. 2 of those wins over Detroit, of course. Schmaltz, their leading scorer over the last month. 15 games, 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. Krause, needs some more goals from him. 15 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific start between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Florida's won the first 2 meetings. December 27th, it was a close one, 3-2. February 17th, it was not a close one. That was the 9-2 win. So Tampa Bay, they avoided a season sweep against the Rangers last night. We'll see if they can do the same against Florida on Saturday. Tampa Bay 35-25-6 overall. They're 5-4-1 over their last 10. Kucherov, their leading scorer over the last month, 11 games, 3 goals, 16 assists, 19 points. Anthony Duclair in 2 games as a Tampa Bay Lightning member, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. Florida's 45-18-4 overall. They're 8-2 over their last 10. They got shut out in their last game. They should be quite ornery in this one. Montour, their leading scorer over the last month, 13 games, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points. Tarasenko, in the 4 games he's played with the Florida Panthers, 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We got 4 games starting then. So oddly enough, Saturdays there's more games, but it's way easier for me to follow than the Thursdays. Next Thursday's even more of a nightmare. So, not that I've looked ahead or anything. So, Philadelphia and Boston. On January 27th, Boston wins this matchup 6-2. The next meeting will be on March the 23rd. For Philadelphia, they're 34-25-8 overall. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. They have to shake off what happened against Toronto, and now they got to try to beat Boston in Boston. Sanheim, their leading scorer over the last month, 12 games, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points for him. Gurianov, 3 games, no points yet with Philadelphia. He's had opportunities. Boston, 39-14-15 overall. They're 5-2-3 in their last 10, coming off an overtime win against Montreal. Pastrnak, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Peaks just played the 1 game since being acquired by Boston. He looked okay. We'll see how he does tomorrow. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between San Jose and the Columbus Blue Jackets. On February 17th, Columbus won this matchup 4-3. San Jose 16-42-7 overall. They're 1-7-2 in their last 10. Granlund, their leading scorer over the last month, 12 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. Kostin, fitting in pretty well in San Jose, 3 games, a goal with 2 assists for 3 points. Columbus is 22-33-11 overall. They're 4-5-1 over their last 10 games. Johnny Gaudreau, their leading scorer outside of Roslovic. I think Roslovic's still their leading scorer for the last month. So Gaudreau, 14 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. Nylander, enjoying his time in Columbus, 10 games, 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points. Is this a sign that Alex Nylander has finally found a home in the National Hockey League, or is this just a bump a guy gets when he goes to a new city and maybe it peters out next year? We've seen it happen. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Montreal and Calgary. November 12th, Calgary wins this matchup 2-1. The Flames are 8 points out of a playoff spot. They have to go on a run and they need some help. Montreal 25-30-11 overall. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10 games. Suzuki, the leading scorer for the team over the last month, 12 games, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. Slavkovsky, 12 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Both of them have been quite effective for Montreal. On the Calgary side, they're 32-29-5 overall. They're 6-4 over their last 10 games. Sharon Govich has been their best forward, obviously, over the last month with 8 goals and 5 assists for 13 points in 12 games. Coronado, coming off of a really strong game. He's played 5 games over the last month, a goal and an assist to show for it. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Carolina and Toronto. This should be a lot of fun. On December 30th, Carolina wins 3-2. The next meeting will be on March the 24th. Carolina's 40-20-6. They're 6-3-1 over their last 10. They got shut out by the Rangers. Then they shut out Florida. We'll see what happens against Toronto. Svechnikov, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. Kuznetsov, he has a goal in 4 games, and he has been generating a lot of opportunities. I do expect him to score at a higher rate than that for the rest of the regular season, maybe the playoffs as well. Toronto 38-19-8 overall. They're 7-3 over their last 10 games. They're playing well. It's just people don't pay attention when they're not playing against Boston, I think. Because honestly, they've been one of the better teams in the league outside of those games against Boston. Nylander, their leading scorer over the last month, 13 games, 8 goals, 10 assists, 18 points. Morgan Riley's played 10 games. He's had 4 assists. He's due for a goal, isn't he? 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We got 2 games starting then. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 games. Not a big deal. LA and Dallas meeting up here. Dallas won the first meeting January 16th, 5-1, and March 9th, Dallas won again by a score of 4-1. We'll see if they can sweep the season series. LA's 34-21-11, barely broke a sweat against the Chicago Blackhawks. They're 5-4-1 over their last 10. Drew Doughty, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 3 goals, 12 assists, 15 points. Fiala's been excellent as well, 14 games, 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points. I don't really have anybody to put up there for LA in terms of additions at the deadline. They pretty much stayed pat. The Dallas Stars 40-19-9 on the season. They're 6-3-1 over their last 10, coming off an embarrassing loss against New Jersey. They should bounce back. They should have a good game. Johnston, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. Sam Steele's fallen on hard times. He has 2 assists in 14 games, but he also is a -7 over that time period, the worst plus-minus on the Stars. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between Minnesota and St. Louis, and I was trying to figure out, am I going to wear Minnesota? Am I going to wear St. Louis? And so I decided to wear Calgary. Minnesota 33-27-7. They're 4 points out of the playoffs. 6-3-1 over their last 10, but did they wait until too late in the season to get things together? We shall find out. Kaprizov, 14 games, their leading scorer over the last month with 14 goals, 10 assists, 24 points. Rossi, 14 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points for Marco Rossi. On the St. Louis side, they're 6 points out of the playoffs, so these teams in direct competition with one another. 34-29-3 record for the Blues. They're 4-5-1 over their last 10. Saad, their leading scorer over the last month, 13 games, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points for him. Toropchenko has 4 goals in those 13 games. Hard worker, getting some goals. I like Toropchenko. And then at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, we got 3 games starting then, so a little busier than we've seen 7 o'clock starts recently. For Colorado and Edmonton, this is the first time they've seen each other. Yep, really interesting how the schedule's done this year. So they'll meet again April 5th and April 18th. For Colorado and Edmonton, they could decide where they finish in their respective divisions. Colorado's 42-20-5 overall. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. McKinnon, 12 games, 10 goals, 16 assists, 26 points, leading the team in scoring over the last month, to the surprise of no one. Middlestad's been pretty solid for them. 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. It feels like Colorado saw a couple of weaknesses in their roster at the deadline and fixed them. And now good luck stopping them. The Oilers, 40-21-3 overall. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 as well. McDavid, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 4 goals, 22 assists, 26 points. He, of course, is trying to track down McKinnon. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think it will. Adam Henrique doesn't have a goal yet as an Oiler. He has 1 assist in 4 games since joining the team. I think he's been effective. Obviously not playing as prominent a role as he did in Anaheim. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Nashville and Seattle. Seattle's won the first 2 meetings. We'll see if they can sweep this one. Seattle won 3-0 October 12th, November 2nd, a 4-2 win. Things are a little different for Nashville than they were on November 2nd. They're 38-25-4. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10. They have a 13-game point streak going. Nyquist, their leading scorer over the last month, 13 games, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. Zucker had a goal in his most recent game for Nashville. He has 1 goal in 3 games thus far as a Pred. On the Seattle side, they're 9 points out of the playoffs. So I only denoted teams within 10 points of the playoffs. Anything further than that is not going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen for Seattle either. They're 28-25-12 overall. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. For McCann, he's their leading scorer over the last month. 11 games, 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. They need more from Tolvanen. Just 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 11 games for Tolvanen over that same time period. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Washington and Vancouver. Should be fascinating to see which Washington team shows up. The one that got shellacked by Edmonton or the one that went in and beat Seattle. So February 11th, Vancouver won this matchup in overtime 3-2. Washington is 31-25-9. They are 1 point back of a playoff spot. So if you're a fan of the Caps, you're cheering for Buffalo tomorrow and you're cheering for the Sens, which may feel kind of weird. But yeah, they're 5-4-1 over their last 10, the Capitals. Strome, 13 games, 2 goals, 14 assists, 16 points, leading them in scoring. Yes, and you're also a Boston fan, which has to be weird. But Miroshnichenko has 2 goals in 5 games over the last month. I think he's looked good. Vancouver, 42-17-8 overall. They're 5-3-2 over their last 10 games. Coming off of a loss against Colorado, which made some Canuck fans kind of frustrated. But anyways, JT Miller, their leading scorer over the last month, 12 games, 9 goals, 8 assists, 17 points. He's been excellent. Mikheyev did have a goal in their last game, so he has 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 12 games. If he could get on a hot streak and continue with another one tomorrow, that would go a long way. But whoever scores first in that game between the Caps and the Canucks, that could tell the story. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And of course, let me know your picks for these 14 games. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.